I don't, and I can't figure out how to get back on. Okay, I don't know what happened, but probably Pablo saw I was doing this and whatever. Anyway, where was I? So Jason Fry is basically given the opportunity to write the Last Jedi novel, and as I said, I was very, very, very upset about everything that happened, and in it, I was just completely shocked, and I shouldn't have been. After what I saw, what they did to Luke, never should have been, never should have been shocked by what I saw. There was a big uproar. Why didn't we get it to say goodbye to Han? So that's what they do. You've got where the resistance is getting ready to evacuate, and Mary Sue and Chewie already left in a stolen ship. Why she shouldn't have any right to have the Falcon. That part just, I mean, that's so not Star Wars. It just fucking pissed me off. It's just like Anakin's lightsaber. It's like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, little Palpatine? Anyway, so Akbar is like, look, Leia, you gotta say something about Han. I mean, this isn't right. Leia doesn't want to. How dare a woman mourn the man that she's married to, and be upset that her piece of shit son did such a bad thing. They they have her like she couldn't be fucking bothered. Okay, my anger is like it's like I'm starting to steam. So I read it, and she's got this figure in her hands, this carved figure, and she's trying to say some words. And of course, what Jason Fry does is he takes the younger set that has to sit there and listen to this and act like they don't want to fucking be there. All right. I'm going to put on my military wife hat. And I'm going to say this. If you have ever been in the military and you are surrounded by 18, 20-year-olds and you're fighting and one of their guys dies and you have a chance to breathe, or when the battle's over, everybody gathers around and has a memorial service for the fallen. So, and the young guys are very shaken up. So that pissed me off. And obviously, obviously Jason Fry's gay. He wouldn't understand any of that because he actually has never been in the military, just like Pablo and Ryan. Howdy, Matt Piranha. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry I got the first part of this got blipped out. Anyway, but Leia's got this carved figure, and it turns out the night before the Battle of Endor, she and Han were laying in bed together, and Han had been, he pulled his pocket knife out and was working on this, and it was just such a fuck you. Oh, great, thank you. There's two parts. The first part too, so go back and share that one too. It was such a fuck you to Han Solo, to Leia for having this attitude, to the fans who are like, what the fuck are you guys doing? That I have to literally sit and go, oh, okay, well, we'll figure it out. They probably have it uploading, or, I mean, let's put it this way. Every once in a while, when I start bringing up the story group, this shit happens. Okay, it's just like Cameron, when he starts talking about this stuff, and all of a sudden his internet goes wacky. Okay, it's weird. It's like, whatever. Anyway. So Leia's got this carved figure. And the story is Han carved it and gave it to her. And she doesn't know what it is. And she actually thinks, ha, Troy, ha, Mad. She thinks it's one of the Ewoks. And he got upset and he threw it away. It was supposed to be her in her slave girl outfit, uh, you know, after she killed Jabba. I want to tell you something. First off, you know, I can't imagine that little moment happening. Second of all, Leia would have figured out what it was and she wouldn't have insulted him. Okay? So what they do is they take a point of insult and hurt. And she's got this thing with her. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you 4 times. That was me. When you go and look at that video, and it's way, way in the Wayback Machine, I was so mad I was crying. I was like, you know, because it was such a troll of the fans. And I can imagine Ryan Johnson, who probably shits on his father's grave, I don't know, laughing about it, and Jason Fry laughing about it, and Pablo and all the rest of that refuse in the story group laughing about it. I mean, they honestly don't understand humanity at all. Emotions. You think if you're in the middle of creating novels and stories about people that you would fucking know some of this stuff. But don't know. I guess they don't. You know, the human condition, what relationships are like. Pablo's in a straight relationship with an angry white bitch. I don't know what anybody else is on the story group. I don't really care. Leland Chi being the only one that seems somewhat normal, even though he also gets credit for killing the EU. So I mean, if I was John Favreau, I'd have him on the bubble. Ah, yes, we're back. I'd have him on the bubble. And the reason is this. Anybody who gets a pat on the back for doing that needs to be watched extremely closely. Okay, because they might try to sabotage what you're doing, which is fixing what they fucking broke. Okay, it was like reading that part of the novel. Dave Pensack sent it to me, and I read that part again. I read it at the Target. I didn't buy it, of course. And I went home in a rage. And the novel that I got ended up in the fire pit. I did a video. Just like Pablo's novel ended up in the fire, or that latest reference guide ended up in the fire pit. Okay, I can't wait to see that at Ollies. And you know it's gonna be there. You know it. Oh, so funny. Anyway, they don't get it. They should not have been. None of these people should have ever been allowed anywhere near the franchise. But like I said, there was no one creatively overseeing them. Okay, Dave Filoni had no say over what they were doing. Now he does. Okay. There was no Jon Favreau. There was no George Lucas. Kathleen Kennedy. Basically, to me, it looks, and this is a theory, and maybe Doomcock in a video, hopefully he'll soon be making. He did Star Trek instead today. Maybe, just maybe, and I think I'm right, Kennedy basically told Hidalgo, you guys can do whatever you want, and I will let you do it. And she didn't oversee any of this. So we get a mess. No one has to, and hey, we all know exactly what happened on Twitter. Pablo basically ran amok. Now, I can imagine what that fucker's been saying on in his private account. You know, and I bet you we get some good intelligence from that account too. I bet you we would. I really would like it if we could get some more stuff out of there. I don't know how we would, but you know, he'll make another mistake. He's too stupid. I mean, he really is just, you know, he is that dumb. But the shit that would happen on Twitter, if somebody had actually been overseeing what they were doing, would that have happened? No. No. Calm down, dog. Would that have been happening? No, of course not. And the reason is this. They would have told them to stop. And if they didn't stop, they were fired. Period. End of story. There was no supervision because mommy didn't care. Hey, Jeremy. So, 2 liter, haha. Yeah, I can't do Diet Pepsi. It gives me stomach aches for some reason. It always has. I mean, I have to run to the bathroom. I don't know. But that's why they could get away with this. They know the fans were pissed. They know the fans wanted something a little that was right for the character. That was something that showed some. I'm going to give you a Scrooge line. Some tenderness, some depth of feeling. Okay? And instead we get this shit, this garbage, this goddamn dumpster fire. And this big middle finger, and you know perfectly well when Jason Fry was writing it with Ryan Johnson, they were both mocking us and laughing at us. I mean, I honestly, when I think of that time after TLJ came out, and Johnson actually really thought everything was cool, I'm stunned. I'm fucking stunned. All right, at the behavior. If he had a brain, he'd be dangerous. He'd have been looking at the box office. It went from this to a drop of like what 76% between opening week and the second week, and made nothing in China. I mean, hey, you know, you'd think you'd be going, I fucked up. We fucked up. But no, it was our fault that it was bad. We didn't understand it. No, you're the one who sat down and wrote a fucking script that didn't make any sense. When you're looking at the sequel trilogy, the first movie, you'd basically disregard everything in it. You shit all over all three original trilogy characters, just like Jade. JJ fakes his respect for these characters. RJ said, I'm gonna fuck these three up. We're never gonna mention Han Solo except for this stupid fucking dice that no one gave two fucks about. Oh yeah, I mean, he had that's the thing, he had absolutely no emotional connection to the material. He brings in these two dice, and that's supposed to be a, yeah, you're right. These two dice that didn't have any connection in the fans' minds to Han Solo, but that's the only thing we get. That's the only fucking thing we get. You know, and then instead of concentrating on fucking Snoke, which is what he should have done, we get this poor Ben fucking Solo. That poor entitled rich man's kid. That poor boy. All mommy and daddy's fault. He's such a piece of shit. But he really isn't. That kind of attitude was inside of people women who went and sat in the background at the Ted Bundy jury and all had crushes on that piece of shit. Or, showed up with their heads shaved and swastikas, carved into their foreheads during when Charles Manson was being tried. All right? That's what he did. Now, did he care about the psychosis he was unleashing on the world? No. That motherfucker went to Tumblr and stole as much as he could because he can't write the word the and unleashed a torrent of garbage on a bunch of mentally ill women and girls who needed to stay away from that shit. He made it, dare I say, real for them. I'm going to say this. As a woman, a man who's sexy does not need to take his fucking shirt off in a movie. In The Empire Strikes Back, we saw Mark's, arms. Okay, woo-woo. Han Solo never had to do that. I have to do that. I know it's under there. I don't need to see that to be completely crazy about the guy. But we get flabby, gross, pale, icky, clammy looking, sick looking. And I mean not just, oh, he's sick looking. No, I mean like, are you okay? What's wrong with you looking? Adam Driver. Looking like he's about 40 feet wide. And it's like, ick. That's what Ryan Johnson gave to us. Okay? That shit. And then, of course, we're told by these fucking batshit crazy women that he's just so handsome. No, he's not. He's really not. There's nothing symmetrical about his face. He isn't classically handsome like Gary Cooper or, Clark Gable or, William Holden or John Wayne or, hey, John Wayne's grandson, Brendan Wayne, who actually does most of the work as the Mandalorian, is really good looking. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. Go look it up. He's not, handsome like Harrison Ford is. Definitely, he's not cute like Mark Hamill was. He's just, to the point where I think I'm going to let you go with this one because my phone's dying. The only person on the planet, man on the planet, that I've ever seen in a pair of Marine Corps blues who can't make them look good. And his ears are out like that. Yeah, that's exactly that. That's exactly what he was. Is Ryan Johnson watched Twilight. Karen Kathy Kennedy was like, well, why don't we do something like that with him? So we'll make him this misunderstood monster. This is Star Wars, you fucking morons. And I'm sure they're going to say, well, what about Anakin? Hayden Christensen is hot. Okay? Hayden Christensen doesn't look like he hasn't been in the sun in 40 years. Okay? Hayden Christensen is gorgeous. All right? Adam Driver, in his whole life, has never been that good looking. Okay? All right? And every time I look at them, I look at him and I look at Carrie and I look at Harrison and I go, that would never happen with them. That would never be the product of any of that. Never. No, and, it's almost like, I'm going to let you guys go with this. It's almost like JJ and Ryan were trying to redo an idea of Anakin Skywalker they thought was better. I'm like, no. You know, it's just. Anyway, I gotta go because my phone's dying, and I think I've been on for almost an hour. So, but that Ollie stuff, I'm gonna do a video for you guys, and I'm gonna do it. I don't know, just talk about what I saw. Wait, this is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the gun. See